Injury updates.
Yeah.
William Saliba, what have you got for us?
I'm not going to be able to help you much today because we have another training session later on. Until that happens, we won't know what's going to happen with a few of the doubts that we have.
Did he have any testing yesterday, though? What is the nature of his injury?
Yeah, he had a little niggle, but I think it's going to be a matter of days. So let's see if he's able to do that tomorrow.
So matter of days for William. Leandro?
Matter of days as well.
Matter of days too. Kai Havertz?
Matter of weeks.
Matter of weeks.
I think so, yeah.
So do you think end of the month?
I don't know. Let's see how it evolves in the next few weeks. He's doing really well. He's doing stuff on the pitch, but I think he needs some time.
And how's Gabby doing?
Which Gavi?
Gabriel.
We have a lot. Even one on the staff now.
Sorry. The one on the treatment table right now.
Big Gavi. Big Gavi is doing very well as well, but I mean, that's weeks as well.
That's weeks. Okay, look, let's focus on Brentford. It's a busy week, it's a busy period for you. Is this an opportunity to rotate the squad, or is it a necessity to rotate the squad?
That's an opportunity tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Everybody, 7:30 p.m. kickoff to be at the Emirates, bouncing and putting energy to win the game. That's the opportunity that we have tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Like animals, everybody at the Emirates to go again and beat Brentford. That's the opportunity.
So you see this Brentford game as
vital, massive, yes.
In a busy week, is that a challenge for you as a coach to make sure players are motivated, knowing that what you've got to come Saturday lunchtime and to Villa Park, then back to Champions League the week after?
No, because our motivation comes from preparation and how we prepare for every game to try to be better than the opposition. And where we are in the league and what we are doing, I mean, I don't think we need any more motivation than that.
And look, it's a vital fixture, but I talked about rotation. We've seen a lot of minutes for, Declan Rice had a really busy week, full-on week. During Timber, exactly the same. Are they the sort of players that potentially you could rest them a little bit against Brentford?
We try to manage every case, every individual in relation to how they feel in the context of the matches, but just with the only purpose to have the best options on the pitch and to come to be better than the opponent. That's it.
Opportunity for Ben White tomorrow?
Opportunity for everybody, as I said.
Okay, let's talk about Brentford and their physicality. Physicality seems to have been maybe a bit more of a challenge for your side this year when we think about Stadium Light against Sunderland, a very physical side. Certainly what happened at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. How prepared are you for the challenge that Brentford will offer, particularly that incredibly long throw of Michael Chiodi?
Yeah. Well, that physicality comes from different areas in relation to the pitch, but I think every game that we play, when you look at intensity in the Premier League against any opponent, what is needed is incredible, and Brentford brings different threats, different challenges, as we all know, and you need to dominate that if you want to win the game.
A final one for me, Mikel. Danny Farke had some comments after his game against Manchester City about Donnarumma holding the ball, going down injured, taking a couple of minutes out of the game while Pep Guardiola was giving instructions on the sideline. He felt like it wasn't something that he likes to see. What's your opinion? Are we seeing that more, and not necessarily just from goalkeepers, but from outfield players going down at certain times of the game to kill time and maybe take the momentum out of games? Are we seeing it more, and is it something that maybe we should look at eradicating from the game in some way possible?
The game evolves, the rules evolve, and that's going to be constant. And you look in the Premier League now, how many minutes are we playing? Actually, the effective time that we are playing, the effective time that we played on Sunday, there is a lot of things to look at and evolve. So that's an example, but there are many others that constantly the game and the rules has to be evolving because everybody tries to take an edge.
Can you understand Danny Farke's frustration, though?
Yeah, especially when you are in the other side, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, James. We'll go to Niv from the Premier League.
I'm good to see you. Declan Rice won the FSA Men's Player of the Year award, voted by the supporters across the UK. Can you imagine when Declan joined just over 2 years ago, you had certain expectations of him? Mm-hmm. How much he exceeded those expectations?
I think he's very close to what we believe that he could bring to the club, to the team. and the way he could grow personally as well. And I think he fully deserves it. I think he's been incredibly consistent throughout the last 2 years, last season again. Again, in big matches, in big moments, he's stepping up, which is a massive thing. You want to fulfill that role at a big club, and I'm delighted that he got it.
Can I ask you about another Mikel Merino? When he joined Arsenal, he already played over 200 games in the La Liga, won the Euros with Spain, a well-established midfielder. In your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine he'll become such a good striker? And as a manager as well, how much flexibility do you give him?
Yeah, as a striker, certainly not. But that's the thing as well that you learn when you sign a player. I knew that he could offer much more than what he had, and especially after I met him for the first time, because a player that has that amount of curiosity and the amount of questions that he's asked, how will he is to learn constantly, the way he loves his profession and football. Yeah, it's difficult to put limits to that, because when someone wants to grow every single day, is that determined, that hungry to win and evolve and to be part of something, that's very powerful, and Mikel certainly has that.
Can I please ask you about Christian Norgaard? And the last time Brentford managed to beat Arsenal, he scored the second goal. What made you decide that Christian is the right fit for Arsenal, and what are the chances of him being involved tomorrow against his former side?
Well, what I saw on the pitch, and then everything that I heard about him as a leader, and the role that he can fulfill, and the role that he was going to have here. And the moment I picked up the phone and spoke to him, he was super excited to join us. He brings something that we don't have in the squad, and I'm very happy to have him.
Okay, Ian from Topsail.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi,
How are you?
very good, thank you.
Goalkeepers, you've been speaking about how things are evolution regarding rules around goalkeepers. Your goalkeeper you brought in over 2 years ago now is approaching 100 Premier League games for you. Not a bad goalkeeper.
It's an amazing goalkeeper, and yeah, it's a great story as well, and how it happened, because as well we tried to sign David much earlier. I think it was as soon as I arrived, almost, and he had to wait for another 2 years, and the start that he had and the journey that we had together, I think it's been phenomenal for us, and very happy to have him.
We're playing against his old team tomorrow. In terms of signings you've made, because you spent £100 million on Declan Rice, a lot of money on other players, pound for pound, is he the best signing you've made?
I don't know. Very difficult question to answer, but it's certainly one that is taking us to a different level. And it's certainly a player that has brought something different to our way of playing.
Both teams like to score from set pieces. Does that mean that we're not going to see too many goals from open play tomorrow?
I don't know. But I don't know a team in the Premier League doesn't like to score from set pieces.
You see that as a badge of honour then, rather than a criticism?
Well, we just consider a goal against Chelsea on a set piece, and they scored 7 corners. We scored 8, no? So I think we should all be set piece teams, because we all score and concede from set pieces, unfortunately.
Finally, just quickly about the fans, you said to make sure they're there on time for the game against Brentford. A lot of managers...
Before the game, not on time, just before.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of managers this week have had to answer questions about maybe their fans being a bit more positive towards their team. Your fans at the moment are just ultra positive towards your team. They couldn't be any more positive, could they?
Yeah, you can always be more, and especially when you play a different type of game, that's where you have to live the standards, and the team the first, and ourselves as well, with the way we're going to play tomorrow, to lift everybody and make sure that we produce the same energy, atmosphere, and positivity around the place.
Alex, BBC.
Hi, Mikel. I wanted to ask you about the injuries. You got Victor Gyökeres and Gabriel Jesus back into the squad on Sunday, but at the same time you lost William Saliba. Kind of been a theme of the season, key players picking up injury. How frustrating has that been for you throughout the season so far?
Yeah, especially how we lost them with Leo as well, because Leo was in a great moment, and Gabi Martinelli was just coming back, and we had to manage his minutes. He wasn't able to play more than what he did on Sunday. So managing that, the fact that obviously Willie trained the day before and then he wasn't uncomfortable. Players not training in certain position, having to play there. But again, the attitude towards it and the way the players are performing and giving absolutely everything they can to fulfill those absences has been the key of the season, because we have to deal with a lot already.
And last season, those injury problems were probably the worst you've experienced in your managerial career. Did that prepare you for the season? Obviously, you have better squad depth, but what you learned last season, has that helped you to get through this tricky period?
Yes, because this season has been worse in some areas, especially in the front line, and now what's happening with the back line. But yeah, I mean, we learned and we were able to put that together, a squad that is much more reliable and have more options. We learned from the past as well that we have to use players in different positions and they have to be able to fulfill different roles if we want to compete at this level. And the example of Mikel that we were discussing before is just the best one probably.
Simon Standard.
Mikel, just on Kai, Julian Nathan said a few weeks ago that he'd suffered a setback. Is that why he's not going to be back until possibly January? Is that what the issue is?
Yeah, so he was doing everything. He could not go to the next level, and now it's looking like we have unlocked that, and we're all desperate to have him. I mean, it's a player that personally I love so much for what he brings to the team, but his character, his personality, I see him suffer being outside. His playing record is phenomenal. He's been always available, and I can't wait to have him back around the team playing, because I think it's going to be a massive boost for the team.
And just on Declan, when he joined, you described him as a lighthouse. Mm-hmm. I just wonder how you would describe him now, and also you made a big point the past 6 months tying down all these key players, Gabriel, Saliba, Ethan Miles. Is he someone else on your list that you're looking at and thinking, I'd like to tie him down for 5 or 6 years?
That's the way I perceived him, that he could potentially be a lighthouse. And now he's become a lighthouse, which is very difficult to do a big club like Arsenal. But he fully deserves that. He's done it with every step in the way. First of all, behaving, acting, and with performance and attitudes that are at the highest level. And he's one that I'm sure, myself for sure, the club for sure, I'm going to have him here for many years.
Tom, football lover.
Hi Mikel, you described the Chelsea game as a learning match. With the wins over Bayern and Spurs, you could almost describe the week as a learning week. And I'm curious what lessons you did learn from a week of really tough games where you nearly got 3 wins from 3 categories.
Yeah. Starting from Spurs, I learned because I learned a lot as well about the international break again and what happened. For example, what happened with Gavi and how can we correct that and never happening again. Then we played a game in a way that again we have to learn, and watching them, you always learn from it. Bayern Munich brought different qualities, players that you don't see weekly, but we need the potential of it, and obviously what they were doing, and we took a lot from them, and the last weekend the same, and the amount of games that you have to play within a game, and what happened at Stamford Bridge in that sense, it's enormous, because something is the perception of what happened, and after it's actually what happened and why it happened. So it was a huge learning.
And James touched on this earlier, but the aggressiveness that Chelsea showed on Sunday, it was similar. It was compared almost to the aggressiveness that Sunderland also showed in their game. 2 games where Arsenal did drop points. I think teams are going to look at that and see a blueprint. Maybe if we're aggressive, we can maybe get something from Arsenal. So how do you have to cope with perhaps the future aggressiveness that you might face from other teams?
I think every team in the Premier League, the first thing that they do is be aggressive. I mean, I don't think that's going to be something that teams are going to change at all. You take it to certain extremes, hopefully that will be looked after, like it should have been in the first action of the game on kickoff with Mosquera. But we have to deal, again, learn from it and use it in a better way, because we should have exploded what we had for a period of time. It wasn't 60 minutes because from 33 to 39 we didn't play, and then it was Piero and I played on the floor, and the next 4 minutes we didn't play, so almost a part of the second half.
Oh, fantastic.
Hi, Mikel. I think around this time last year, you mentioned with all these kind of games around the festive period, it's kind of hard to even get training sessions regularly. And I was just wondering, in those periods, do you have to kind of alter the way you prepare for games, and how does that work? Do you have to focus on something that's maybe a bit more mental than physical? How do you kind of work around that?
Yeah, there is a balance to it, obviously, and depending, sometimes we play 3 days after, sometimes 4 days after. Obviously, the schedule brings now a scenario that is 3 and 3. So yeah, we are used to it. We alter the preparation probably in the physical part a little bit more, but just rely much more on principles and what we have to do, and then tweak what we have to do in relation as well to the opponent's strengths and weaknesses.
And you spoke about sequences as well, sequences of games, and how you can kind of build a consistency with, I guess, different types of formations and stuff like that. Is that something we can see in terms of kind of seeing games as blocks and kind of mapping it out like that?
Yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes you play against back four or teams that are very direct and rely or want to take the game everything to a restart or a set piece. Other teams that they are completely different. We face for a period of time a lot of back fives and low blocks. Then this block of 3 games has been different. So yeah, depending. Sometimes you are lucky that you say, okay, now for this period, this is going to help us for the next few games, and sometimes you just have to alter game by game.
And just on Saliba, with his injuries this season, I think they've been quite random, it seems. Is that how you see it? Because I think with the Anfield one, it was a twisted ankle.
Yeah.
And then how's this one come about? You mentioned he was uncomfortable in training.
Well, the ankle one, it was a really random and very unlucky action that kept him out for a few weeks. He tried at Anfield, he wasn't comfortable, and he had to stay away. And this one as well, very bizarre, but hopefully it will be a matter of days.
Okay, that finishes the live section.